I finally found my dream girl. Oh god.
After the
So s.expedition by ebluberry is actually an okay hentai comic. A lot of people are saying it's great, and I'm actually one of those people who would be a little bit more reserved. I kind of think it's average. It's definitely on the good side of average. It's got great drawing, although sometimes the art gets a little lazy, and you can tell, like, clearly, like, the backgrounds aren't really fully fleshed out. Sometimes he'll do, like, a 2D anime thing that's just lazy. But besides that, the art is actually really well done when it comes to, like, the figures and the way the woman looks. But the only problem with him is that when it comes to the guy, and when it comes to anyone else who's a minor character, he doesn't put any detail into their features. So it's a really generic characters until you get to the women. The women are fully fleshed out with blemishes and all sorts of shit. Which I'm not complaining, because the women look fucking amazing in this thing. So, besides that, though, how's the porn? You know, that's probably what you're thinking. Like, well, how's the sex scenes? Well, the sex is actually really good. He actually does really great at drawing it. My only issue is that, like, the sex supposedly doesn't last long. Like, every time we see it, it's like 5 seconds. And it's like, okay. So when's the next sex session? Oh, like two slides later, there's more sex that lasts only like 5 seconds. Okay. So besides that, it's kind of, it's the opposite of Alfie, I would say, in this sense. So Alfie, there's long bits where there isn't any sex, but when the sex happens, it's long. And it's very sensual. Whereas in s.expedition, the sex is frequent, but it's very short at the same time. It comes as quick as it goes. So take that as a euphemism, if you will. But one thing that I really like about this hentai is that the artist, although he sucks at story writing, I'm not going to lie. The story writing in this is fucking awful. This is the type of shit you would expect on Pornhub, where a guy just goes, "Oh, hey, I got your pizza delivery," and the girl just bends down her knees going, "Is there any way I could pay for it?" That's basically the kind of story writing you're going to get out of this. But there are actually certain segments where the story writing starts to get good, but then it goes back to the porn. So again, I'm kind of reserved when it comes to this. I wouldn't say it's great. It's good. It's better than average. So it'd be like a 6 out of 10, not a fucking 5 out of 10 or 4 out of 10. But it's definitely not an 8 or a 9. It's definitely not that. So, besides that though, what are you expecting to see in here? Well, you're expected to see a lot of aliens. A lot of aliens. Now, the thing that I like about this artist, ebluberry, is that he's very creative with his aliens. The first one, which is the one you see on the cover, that's a Tivian. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to stand for. I just know that's what the species is called. And it looks totally like a human, just blue. And you can tell he took a lot of influence from the video game Mass Effect. Because in the Mass Effect game, there's a alien race called Quarians, who are much like these guys in the sense that they both wear helmets because they can't breathe normal air. And when their helmets are taken off, they look human, just different color. In this case, it's blue instead of purple. Now, there is some other differences, like apparently a Tivian's allowed to like fucking headbutt you, and by headbutting you, they connect their mind to yours. Where basically, now this is interesting, this is very erotic. This is where I say it's very slaaneshi. This is my kind of sex when we get in all slaaneshi. But what happens here is once they headbutt you and they leave this like little yellow mark on your forehead, what happens is your mind is connected to theirs. So whatever you're feeling, they are feeling, and whatever they are feeling, you're feeling. Now, if you're having sex and you've got this on you, oh boy, you're going to be feeling double the pleasure at double the rate. Yeah. This is a very interesting alien, to say the least. My favorite alien, which is the one that I said I would have no fucking problem marrying in real life, I would find one and bag one immediately. Holy shit. It's this weird race that has, like, no mouth. Well, actually, correction. It said that this girl specifically doesn't have a mouth, but everyone else does. She's just kind of weird and mutated. So she doesn't have a mouth, but her vagina, dude. Holy shit. This vagina is, like, the best vagina I've ever fucking seen. At first, it looked really weird and creepy. But then, like, when the sex scene on the next slide popped up, I was like, you know what? That actually looks really good. I actually would have no problem having sex with that. In fact, I'm actually looking forward to ever meeting something like that to have sex with. So basically what happens is, it's like a reverse tentacle hentai in a sense. So instead of tentacles penetrating you, instead what it is her vagina. On the inside of her vagina is a bunch of little tiny tentacles. But there's like 100 of them. So when your dick is penetrating her vagina, all these tentacles just start like squeezing your dick and like wrapping around. Oh my god, dude. This is the perfect vagina in my opinion. This is what women should just look and see if they could like research a way to surgically get these like little tentacles in her vagina so they could do this to a guy. Holy shit. This would be the best. Now, for women, you're probably thinking, he's such a guy. He only cares if women have certain appendages. What about us? Alright, well, here's my message to you women. Shut up. We already know you would love if they found a way to give guy dicks little tiny tentacles around their dicks. Like, I mean, like, around the belly of their dick is just a bunch of tentacles so that way when they penetrate you, they can just push out. We already know you women would be, like, coming Japanties whenever you get hit by that. So, it's okay for me as a guy to say I would be coming like a motherfucker if I ever saw a woman with a vagina like this. Alright, so, aside from that, though, does, like, the overall hentai comic, is it long? Yes, there's like 270 slides. So that's 270 times you could fap to this thing. Now, is the universe fully explained? No. No, not at all. In fact, the characters are very flimsy and whimsical. Like, there's a few tags in this that I would say is kind of all over the place. Like, on one hand, it's aliens. But then, like, there's only one character, and they don't show this character ever again. Thank God for that. But it was kind of, like, turning towards a furry thing. And I was like, wait, is this going to be furry or is this going to be aliens? Because I'm all down for aliens, but furries, I'm not going to do that. Well, it's like this girl who's got, like, a fucking tail, and that's the only thing about her that's really furry. But I still was kind of like, she's nothing special. But, later on, though, like, near slide 260, 250, I can't remember when, there's, like, this dog that's, like, fully sentient and, like, has sex, and I'm, like, sitting there going, okay, so this hentai has rape, except it's only this dog, and it's only literally, like, 2 slides. It made me feel very uncomfortable while, like, trying to read it, too. Like, I've never felt more uncomfortable before than trying to, like, read this bullshit when the rape scene happened. And then it's got like 1 or 2 furry scenes. If you consider the girl with the tail furry too, like I do, then yeah, there's 2 furry scenes. But if you don't, then it's only 1, which is the dog. But it's also got like a really, really like shitty character development, I would say. Like, there's only one character I would say that's actually really interesting and really developed, which is, of course, the one with the tentacle vagina. Her name's like Elfie or Alfie, something like that. I can't remember. Honestly, this is one of those porns where you read it, you like it, and you know what the characters are, but you just can't remember their fucking names. Later on, though, it kind of dips into like a lolly type hentai. So, and before Chris Hansen starts busting down my door, let me explain. So it kind of was starting to veer into the lolly part, But then it backed out because the artist is like, she's 84 years old. Okay, whew. Save me of that pedophilia status. Whew. I would have been really biting the dust there if Chris Hansen started busting down my door for like lolly hentai. But yeah, essentially it's like this girl who's semi-flat chested and she's really small. And apparently her species is long-lived. But she looks like a child, like not really a child, just looks more or less like a really, really young teenager. And it's getting harder and harder for me to explain this without sweating bullets here because I don't want to sound like a pedophile, but like, essentially, she says that she's like 22 who's flat-chested. And I'm not going to lie, I know a girl who's 30 and she looks like someone who's like 18. And that's in real life. This isn't even a fucking drawing. Like, that's in real life. Because she's so tiny, petite, and skinny, and like flat-chested and flat-ass, much like this girl. So on one hand, it kind of dips into that, but then it dips back out. On another hand, it gets into like MILF territory, but then we never see it again. So there's a lot of things in this hentai that I would say is actually good, but my only problem with it is that it's so scattered. Like, don't get me wrong, I hope the artist keeps up with it, and he keeps like just drawing more and more wacky adventures that this guy goes on. Like, he eventually gets to a point where he fucks, like, these two girls who are basically the size of Tinkerbell. Yeah, Tinkerbell from fucking Peter Pan. And he, like, has sex with these fairies. And that's interesting. I mean, shit, now he's really, really stretching the boundaries. First the lolly dip scene, then all of a sudden he's getting to these, like, fairies. Okay. But overall, my favorite thing about this hentai is that he does a lot of X-ray scenes. I always call these X-ray scenes. I don't know what they're actually called. But basically you just see the inside of the vagina where the dick is penetrating it. And you see like the dick like banging against the cervix. And it's like, oh, yeah. Now this is getting good. But besides that, I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you guys actually take the time to look at it. But just know that on my criteria, it's pretty much above average. It's not good. Well, it's kind of good, but it's really just above average. It's not really anything to remember. If anything, I'm only keeping up with it because at the end of the comic, the guy had like 5 or 6 images that were just individual characters that the guys had sex with, but like fully fleshed out. Like they look 3D images, and those look fucking stunning. I ain't gonna lie, ebluberry has some fucking talent if he actually put the time to make 3D images like that. It is amazing how good it is. But on the flip side, it's a really flimsy story where apparently every alien, no matter how weird they are, has a fucking human vagina and human boobs. So, I mean, not too creative there. Some of the alien races kind of come from other universes like Mass Effect, but just, you know, something slightly different. So, you know, you guys have your own time with it. Tell me what you guys think about this hentai. You probably won't, because not many of you want to be put on full blast for looking at hentai. I think it's normal to look at porn. This is just another form of porn, but people act weird about it. So, see you guys next time. Like, comment, subscribe, and it is me, Frieza700, and I am out. Before I forget, this guy does want donations to, you know, kind of help him make more of this hentai. And I actually am all for it. Please, donate him $1 or so. I'm going to put this image. I hope he doesn't mind. And I know I'm kind of beating down on his hentai that he draws, but at the same time, I hope he gives me the courtesy of knowing that I'm just a critic. I'm just here to review it. I'm not really getting paid to review it until, you know, I get so many views. But besides that, I hope you guys at least find some enjoyment out of his hentai work, and at least, you know, consider maybe donating $1 or $2 towards his way.